Hi, welcome to Antique Quest. Today we're going to be looking at something you're not going to see every day. I've never seen these before. They came in for our fall gun auction and they're called cattle killers. Horse killers is another one. Something I'd never seen before. I might have even passed over it if I saw it in somebody's workshop not knowing what it was. At least this one I probably would have. So we're going to show you those, and you might not have ever seen them. If you have, or hey, if you've ever actually had to use one of these, let us know in the comments below. It'd be interesting for others following along, because you know, I always thought you just took a gun, you shot them, but they made some pretty interesting inventions. Now, these two, the smaller ones, are very interesting because they're made by Greener. W.W. Greener, a famous British gun maker who made this gun also up front, this side-by-side shotgun, and also made this one coming into our fall auction. Both of these guns are going to be in our auction. He pretty much invented the box lock mechanism, so he did invent the box lock mechanism, which is quite famous in shotguns now, used for pretty much most of them, I'd say, these days. So, beautiful gun maker. So it makes some sense that, of course, he would have made cattle killers in his day, because people needed to do that. And the neat thing was that this one that came in, and I think the idea is you have a safety, you put your cartridge in there and you put this onto the head of the cattle and you just hit that, and it shoots it right into his brain, kills him instantly, I'm assuming. But the interesting thing is that we've actually got a box of Greener cartridges that go with this. And these are a 310 LE cartridge, but it's got the Greener name on there, and I'll try and get you a close-up of that because it shows a little mallet and how you actually hold it onto the head of the cow. Now, all this might sound a bit brutal to some of our lady watchers, but you know, you did have to kill them to eat them, and we do eat them, so. Now this one is coming into our sale as well. Still got a lot of rounds in it. I don't know what a 310 equates to in our own calibers, but that should be easy to Google that. A 310 LE cartridge, I imagine it's going to be somewhere around a, I don't know, 25 caliber or something like that. Now this one, like I say, you might find that in somebody's toolbox or an old farm. You might see that and you might just think, oh, what's that for? It must be some tractor part. That's honestly what I would have thought of that. You know, there's nothing to say other than very faintly in the side it's stamped, and we had to search and search and search for it. But it is stamped Greener's Humane Horse Killer. W.W. Greener, maker, London and Birmingham. And it's got here on the brass where it's marked top. But this one does come apart. We'll just give you a quick view of that. So there's your firing pin. All these come apart. Now, as I understand it, you're supposed to hit this because that says mallet right on it. Now, unless that's the cap for the mallet, I don't know. That comes apart here, and I imagine that's where you put your round. Now, I'm assuming then this would go in here like this. Now again, if any of you know the exact answer here and I'm doing anything wrong, you let me know. But there's that slope, which this one has as well, which is to go against the head of the cattle. And then you would hammer that. Now whether this goes on here and just a bigger piece to hammer against, I'm not sure, or if it actually screwed onto another piece that we might not have and actually hits the firing pin like so. So a neat little thing, and you say, well, it's not a real big deal. what I want you to do is go online and check the value of some of these cattle killers. You are going to be shocked. And this is the kind of thing you can find come into a gun auction, because somewhere down the road somebody who collected firearms thought, oh, that's kind of neat, I'll collect that too. And people have forgotten about them. But this particular one, I've seen that go for $2,800 on a US website. So I've seen them go less than that, anywhere from $1,000 to $2,800. But who would have thought that you would have got that kind of money out of something like that? Now, I imagine it's pretty hard to come by these boxes and rounds. So that is one lot in our auction right there. This is another lot in our auction. And again, I've seen these go quite high. But the one I really want to show you is this one, because I've only ever been able to find one other picture of this online. It was from Australia. Didn't tell you a whole lot about it, but this one makes more sense as a gun. I mean, you've got a hammer and it's still free. However, this pin or key, whatever it is, we're not really 100% sure, is pretty much seized in place. But I'm assuming you would take that off, load your cartridge in there, and then put it back in. But the other neat thing is that here's your trigger down here. So you have a spring trigger way down here. So if the animal's considerably taller than you are, or if you want to stand back a little further and not get a little messed up, shall we say. But a fabulous early, I mean, you can tell this is an early piece of equipment. Now this also seems to be seized. Now we don't want to force it, it's not ours, but whoever buys it, I would suggest oiling that up and seeing if you can get that to move freely. That may very well eject that as well. And here there's a plate on here, caution, do not snap the hammer without a cartridge in the barrel. That's pretty much good advice for a lot of these sorts of things. But a really neat piece, the fact that it hasn't come apart, it's got this big flower sort of end on it that would go against the skull. But as grisly as this may sound to some, you know, it's a pretty neat collectible. Now, who makes this one? I'm not 100% sure. You know, with a bit of research, maybe you'll find out that Greener made these as well, because he made both of these, and he was quite a prolific gun maker. Now, on the back, the only mark that we can make out, and because there's some slight pitting, is RSPCA. So, SPCA, anyway. Wonder if that's why it's considered humane. I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, I imagine this video will come out after our auction, which is this Saturday. But if I can't get the video out on Friday, I'll do that and give anybody out there a chance to bid on these. Now, as far as these being antique and obsolete calibers, that would put them under antique status and anybody can own them, which also means I could ship these stateside. So whereas this one in a major United States auction house got $2,800, that would be US. I'll bet you this doesn't crack much more than $500 here in Nova Scotia. So it's a great opportunity for anyone else who wants to make a play on this and make yourself some money. So there you are. Our online bidding is open till Friday. You have to be the high bidder by Friday evening when auction closes. And then regardless of how much you bid, the computer knows your high bid, your maximum bid, and will bid for you if it hasn't already reached that, up against the live auction. So again, we got a couple of nice Greeners in there. We've got some great antique stuff. We've got an old, beautiful L.C. Smith double barrel. We've got a beautiful Parker, an engraved Parker. So we've got some really fabulous double barrels. We also have a nice 1886 Winchester. So there's a lot of great collectibles in there. A lot of nice cased handguns. You'll see that all online, and the website is www.harrisandsonsauctions.com. And you can link off that to the catalog. Now, something, if I have any ladies watching and your husbands are gun collectors, that sort of thing, please keep in mind, should anything ever happen to your husband where he passed away and you were left with these and you don't have a gun license, please understand that you are fully legally allowed to contact an auctioneer to sell that collection for you. So Don't give in to the fear that some people are going to create and say, well, you don't have a license, you're not allowed to own those. True enough, but you are allowed to sell them as part of your estate. So when the police come to your door, just tell them you're going to give it to an auctioneer and give us a call. I hate these stories where people hand over, 30, 40, 50 guns, a lifetime gun collection of beautiful things that can get a lot of money, and they just take them away and the widow is left with nothing. So if that's your situation, please tell anybody you know as well. You don't have to give these things up. That is a bunch of baloney. So you are legally allowed to sell them, and you can have an auctioneer pick them up and sell them for you as long as he's licensed to do guns, which of course we are. So I hope that's interesting, and if you have something like this laying around in the barn, don't throw it out. These things are incredibly valuable. Like I say, I'd never seen them before. I'd never seen them in a book. I'd never seen them anywhere. But you can do a lot of research on these online, and they're pretty neat collectible, and the box is great. The graphics are great. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this helps somebody, and maybe somebody's got one of these laying around and we just made you a lot of money because you happen to watch this. So we do love it for anybody to give any comments below. We're always interested to hear what you think. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit that subscribe button, and the little bell will notify you anytime we do get a video online. So we try for once a week, but it's tough with business and all. So thanks for watching. God bless, and have a great day. Bye-bye.